By the time you hit 40, a chunk of your money is already decided. Not by you, by the math. See, most money mistakes are reversible. Hate your job, you can leave. Rent's too high, you can move. Spending's a mess, you fix it next month. The jungle hands you do-overs on almost everything. Because a few decisions in your 30s quietly stop being reversible. And here's the strange part. They get made whether you act or not. Skip them, and the math just picks the worst answer for you. Three of those decisions decide everything. Two, you can still walk back. One, you can't. And nobody tells you which one until it's already gone. Let Og show you all three in order, starting with the one that's already ticking. Move one. Start the clock. The thing the bank calls compounding. Here's compounding in plain caveman. Your shinies make shinies, and then those shinies make shinies too. It snowballs. And the only fuel a snowball runs on is time, which is the one thing you can't buy more of later. Watch what a single decade does. Two cavemen, same $200 a month into the market. Call it 7% a year, roughly the long-run average after inflation takes its cut. The first starts at 30 and runs it to 65. The second waits till 40, then runs the same $200 to the same finish line. The early one ends with about $360,000. The late one about $162,000. Same monthly shiny, same finish line. The only difference is 1 decade at the front, and it more than doubled the pile. Now the part that should sting. The early caveman put in only about 24,000 more shinies than the late one. 24 grand of deposits. It came out the other end as nearly 200 grand. That's not a reward for working harder. It's a reward for starting. And it's the one move on this list you genuinely cannot undo because you cannot go back and be younger. Move 2. Kill the expensive shinies before you grow the cheap ones. Carry a balance on a credit card right now, and the bank charges you about 21% a year. 21%! That's not a fee, that's a leash. And it tightens every month you only pay the minimum. Here's the trap people walk straight into. They've got a card bleeding 21%, and they're also proudly dropping shinies into investments, chasing that 7%. Feels responsible. It's math running backwards. You cannot outgrow a debt that costs you 3 times what your money earns. Every shiny you invest at 7% while a card eats 21% is a shiny quietly going negative. So flip it. Paying off that card isn't spending, it's the best guaranteed return you will ever get. There is no investment on the planet that hands you a locked-in 21%. The bank is already offering you one. You take it by clearing the balance. This is the reversible one. You can clear a card at 45, but every year you don't. It's chewing through the head start. Move 1 was supposed to be building. Move 3, grab the free shinies before they vanish. Most jobs with a retirement account do this thing called a match. The most common version, for every shiny you put in, the boss drops in 50 cents up to about 6% of your pay. Read that again. The second your shiny lands, it's worth $1.50. That's an instant 50% return before the market has done a single thing. Nothing else in the entire jungle pays you 50 cents on the dollar just for showing up. And here's the catch that makes it a 30s move. The match is a yearly thing. You only get this year's free shinies on the shinies you put in this year. Skip the year, skip the match. It doesn't roll over. It's gone. So skipping the match isn't saving it for later. There is no later. It's free shinies left on the jungle floor, and the floor gets swept clean every December 31st. Now let Og get this straight, because here's the part nobody says out loud. Of these 3, only one is truly permanent. The debt, you can always pay it off. The match, you can start grabbing it tomorrow. But the decade of compounding, that one's a closing door. That's why your 30s decide everything. It's the last stretch where a small, boring number still has the runway to become a big one. Do nothing, and the math doesn't wait politely. It locks in the smaller pile and hands it to the 40-year-old version of you with a shrug. Your 30s aren't when you get rich. They're when you decide whether getting there is even still on the table. So here's the whole thing on one rock. Clear the 21%, your best guaranteed return. Grab the 50%. It's free and it expires. Then, let time carry the rest because time's the only one of the 3 you can't get back. Do that, and the 40-year-old looking back isn't cleaning up your mess. They're counting your head start. If the math feels a little less terrifying than it did 3 minutes ago, that's the whole point of this cave. Join the tribe, and Og keeps turning the stuff school skipped into something you can actually use on a Tuesday. See you around the fire.